It's a different day.
You could always rock my Cowboys.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Cowboys? Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did, some of it I got to clean up if you want to hand me that.
Trash can kind of empty. Could put some stuff in it.
All right.
Okay.
To it. Welcome back. Another episode of Verbal Gunplay.
Yeah.
It's your boy, Danny De Niro.
L double the Golden Lion. Yeah, I'm leaving it out this time.
Oh, okay. I was like, I know he ain't expecting me to finish that. He won't like what I have to say.
Don't do that.
And we have a special guest in the building. Wife, mother, entrepreneur, public speaker, Molly.
Hello.
All right, now. Just so dainty. Hello.
All right, so Molly, thanks for joining us today.
Of course.
One of the things we usually do is when you're a first-time person on the pod, we get all up in your business.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So those viewers and listeners around the world, they don't know who Molly is. Fill them in.
So like you mentioned, I'm a mom. I have 3 daughters. Okay. I'm a wife. Been married for 7, almost 8 years. We've been together 10 years, but we have 3 daughters. One of them is 15. That's actually my stepdaughter. And then I have a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. And entrepreneur, running my own business, financial services. So, yeah.
Okay.
All girls in the house? Your husband.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
We got a boy dog, so.
Wow. That don't count, man.
That's it. It's the head of the household,
Yeah.
the husband, and then the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a pretty good girl dad, though, so he's a good sport about it.
Yeah, you guys probably got like 3 guns on site.
Oh, yeah.
Not normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned the financial aspect. Expound more on that.
So I work with PRIMERICA. Basically, what we do is we do a lot of
Air horse.
we deal with life insurance, investments, mortgages, all of that kind of stuff. Mainly what I do is life insurance and investments.
Okay. Now, I normally do homework anytime I have somebody coming up here on their background, their work and whatnot. But I wanted to kind of go into this kind of blind because he's got a little bit of history or knowledge of PRIMERICA and I have none. So I kind of wanted to keep it that way for this sit down.
Yeah.
So I would say from the outside looking in, when I just typed in the word PRIMERICA, it's kind of like you get a lot of good, you get a lot of bad.
Yeah.
We live in a world today where the bad runs things. So let's start with the bad side of it. What's the bad rep? Why does PRIMERICA get a bad rep?
It's crazy that you asked that because when I first started working PRIMERICA, like I didn't even Google search it, anything. I was just excited because like I walked in there and it was great energy. I love the people that I met or whatever. And so I was like fired up whenever I first, went into it. And then I started getting like negative feedback from like friends, family, people sending me Google reviews and everything. And really, I think that everybody, like you said, everybody leads with negative. Nobody wants to go and talk about like, oh, I had an amazing experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll literally like call and compliment people, if they did a good job, like as my server or whatever, and they act like, oh my gosh, it's like crazy that you're calling and telling me this because people only call to report the bad, and so I really think that it's crazy to me also that people listen to the opinions of people they don't even know. You don't even know this person and you're gonna like take their advice.
Yeah, that's the world we live in.
It's just crazy. Like you don't even know the life they have. You don't know would you want that life? So why are you gonna listen to this person you don't even know and what they have to say about it? And I mean, I think anybody that does post bad things about PRIMERICA is probably just someone who's bitter that quit, and doesn't want to take personal responsibility for why they failed,
I do have a history, but it's not me, sort of me personally. So my mother-in-law is in and has been in PRIMERICA for the entire time I've known her. 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. She is now. She's an RVP now, but she wasn't when she started.
I love that.
And I've watched her grow her business and, do all but old school way, like this before smartphones and all that other kind of stuff, and getting out there just in the mall. Prospecting is what she called it. Mm-hmm. So I think I have a more practical outlook on it because I'm like a person who has a family member who has been successful in Primerica, who tried to get me into Primerica, but I was able to recognize that it just wasn't for me. I wouldn't say that Primerica is bad, but it takes a certain kind of person to be successful at Primerica. And even though her and the people above her that, she took me there, all thought, oh, you'd be a killer at this. I was just like, it's just not for me. I just not for me. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And I've seen and witnessed so many people become literal millionaires from it. I can never down talk it, but I do always tell people, you've got to be a certain kind of person. Only a small percentage of people will be this level of successful. And really, you just don't know until you try it if it's going to be that way. And that's all I can really say about it. It's not for me, but I've seen it be wildly successful. Like I said, my mother-in-law's a RVP, then she got her husband up to that level, and then all kinds of other people. They go to the events in different cities all the time.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of those fat rings that you get from when you win stuff or whatever. They get free trips, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I've seen them blow up and kill it. But I hear so many other people say they do the opposite. And I was like, to me, it's like, it would be the same as if you talk bad about going into basketball.
Yeah.
Only a certain percentage of people are going to be successful in the NBA playing basketball. Certain skill level, certain kind of person. It's the same kind of thing. Take everybody who's played basketball and pull out the percentage of the ones who made it to the NBA, just the NBA, not even the top performance. It's like single digit percentage, the same kind of thing. So like, are you that kind of person? Honestly, you don't know until you try it. Maybe you tried it, didn't work out for you. Okay, but I've never been a person to really bash it. I just know that you got to be a certain kind of person. You really got to hustle to make that work.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. And you have to have you have to have ambition. You have to have a certain level of like mental toughness and discipline and all of that kind of stuff. And I mean, I think like you said with basketball and anything, if you think about people going to college, like what's the like dropout rate at college is
high.
And even the people who do stay in college, if you want to be in the top of the top, you have to really dedicate yourself. You have to study more than everybody else, not go to the parties, do the things that most people aren't willing to do so that you can be in the top and hit your goals. Well, it's the same thing with Primerica. You got to be willing to work. You got to be willing to be disciplined, get better, all of that kind of stuff. And a lot of people just aren't willing to do that. And even when I interview people, when I talk to people, I'll straight tell them, I know Primerica is not for everybody, and I'm not going to ever act like it's easy or anything. And I don't ever tell them it's easy, but I'm like, it's worth it, So yeah, that's just my view on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has no experience in that, though. So.
Yeah, but that's really cool, though, that your mother-in-law, what's her name? Can you say
Priscilla Watson.
Okay.
Her group is called like the Pathfinders or something. They got the names of their teams or whatever.
Are they out here in Dallas?
No, they're in San Diego.
San Diego. Mm-hmm. Okay, very cool.
So shout out mother-in-law Priscilla, killing it out there at the Pathfinders.
Yeah.
Been doing it for the entire time literally the entire time I've known her from when I met her daughter to now. You know what I'm saying? That she's still doing it, still been doing it. So I have physical proof that it can be done, which is her and her circle of people. So, and then there's been other people outside of that. She's still been successful. So, yeah, that's why it's like I've had people come to me like, "Oh, Primerica's a scam." I'm like, I can't back you on that because I know too many people who are successful with it.
Yeah.
And another thing, I think there's a big disconnect too with how people think about work. Right? Your average person thinks, "I go to work, I get paid. Like I work to make money." But when it comes to being a business owner, you got to disconnect yourself from that. But you may work 80 hours this week and may not specifically get a paycheck that reflects that, but you're laying your groundwork for all that. So any business person or entrepreneur that's laying the groundwork for a business is not getting paid by the hour. It's all about how much they work and what they put into their business. And most people, when they go into something like Primerica or something like that, they think, okay, I'm going to work this amount of time and put this amount of effort and I'm going to get this out of it. And it just doesn't work that way. So
I think that's like one of the benefits that I had like going into it was I had always served tables. Like that was really all I had ever done. Like 10 years I served tables. I think I had 2 hourly jobs and one of them lasted 6 months. One of them lasted like a month. Cause I was like, man, how do people work for $10 an hour? Like, and I can go to work and I remember I worked one job I was making $10 an hour. I worked 15 hours and I was like, this is $150. I could have done that in 2 hours, maybe 1 hour serving tables. So,
right.
But serving tables is the same way. If you don't take tables, if you're not working, you're not making money. So I just always, had that view of like, the harder I work, the more money I make, And so, yeah, you're right.
So it sounds like, on the outside looking in, Primerica is more so for the individual. If you have like the type of work environment or career where you're like, I work so hard, but yet I'm just at this cap and I make the same amount as Joe Schmo over here that does nothing. He just rides it from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But my 9 to 5, I'm busting my ass.
Yeah.
And making the same as Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
Primerica sounds like it's one of those things where if you put into it, you're going to get something out of it. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think it shows a lot of people, because a lot of people just go to work to ride the clock, get a paycheck and everything. And with Primerica, you pretty much get paid what you're worth, and people realize like they're way overpaid at their jobs, because they don't really work,
Right.
And we have a system, like it's so simple. Like it shows you exactly what you need to do to make however much money you need to make. People just aren't willing to do it,
You just got to be smart about it, and it is one of those things. It's just not for everybody, and not everybody's going to be successful at it. Even to the point where you can do everything right, and it still just not work out for you. It's like life, right?
Yeah.
So I don't downplay it, but I also don't endorse it. Like I say, look into it and find out for yourself if it's something you want to do, and like anything should be in life, and go from there. That's pretty much all I tell people, because a lot of people have come to me to ask me about it because of my proximity to it. And that's the same thing I always tell them, like, look into it and learn for yourself and see if it's something that you can do. Go to some of the meetings, look at the negatives. You want to look online and look at all the negatives and stuff too. Look at people who do it online and talk about the positives, and, form your own opinion.
Yep.
Absolutely. I agree. So it seems like the magic in how you do it, you seem to be very big with networking. Like every time I come across your page, it's always like some kind of party, some kind of event. I mean, you guys have a real strict, you even got like a fitness routine.
Oh, yeah.
3 times a week, right? So, and I imagine that's with not only with coworkers and family, but probably also new people that you're bringing on board.
Yeah.
We got XYZ going on. Come on by, check this out, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how you're building your portfolio, I would say, of individuals, because, as you grow with the people underneath you, I imagine everything is expanding, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we always one of our leaders, his name is Jim Meyer. He always says, like, if you're not having fun, you're done. And so that's like one thing with our office, like we have a lot of fun because what we do, it's not easy. It's like, it's simple, but it's not easy. And we work really hard, but if you just work hard and you never have fun, you're going to burn out. So, and we have a really young office too. We have a lot of young people. If you look at most Primerica offices, like we're more on the young side.
Okay.
I think our average age is like 20, 21,
At your office?
At our office,
okay.
yeah.
That's pretty young.
Oh,
yeah.
So in the company, though, probably like 38 or something like that?
Yeah. And so, like, you gotta, if you want to keep people around, you gotta, have fun, have incentives and everything. But we also focus on, like, getting better, self-improving and obviously working out and everything like that. So we work out together, and it's just really a lot of like you become like a big family, and then when you bring people in, you're like bringing them into the family, like getting to know them, all of that.
Nice. Okay. Do you want to dive on any specifics with it, or you'll just save that for like any consultations?
Yeah, I mean, what kind of specifics? I can't say.
Well, like how you it's all good. It's like how the other day you had made it, I don't know, probably not really a joke, but you had pitched to me like, so when you gotta come sign up?
Yeah.
And I had told you, well, sell me, like, tell me, what would it be for me to,
Hit her with the sell me this pen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not really really even like a salesperson. Like I'm a terrible salesperson.
Okay.
You know, I've never, even when I serve tables, they'd have like selling competitions. Like I'm out. I'm not even gonna try. You know, very competitive. I don't like to lose. So if I know I'm not gonna win, I'm not gonna do it. But it's more like just educating people. You know, like if you sit down with the right people, they're gonna understand like why they need it if you explain it in a right way.
Okay.
You know, that's just the main thing is like everybody needs it, but making them see the value and why they need it, you know?
Okay. Because, you know, we're growing. You know, a lot of people are going to see this and hear this. You know, I'm going to put your information on there. So I want you to be welcoming to them. Like, why should I hit up Molly?
Because I'm the best.
That's okay. All right. And you said, what about your husband? Is he involved with you with this?
So he's not like licensed. He doesn't like do anything in the business really, but he's a body tech. So he works on cars and he does damaged cars and all that kind of stuff.
My mind was like body tech. I started thinking like tattoos or
collision repair.
Yeah. So that's and he loves what he does. Like he grew up doing it with his dad and everything. So he loves like his job and everything.
Okay. So for those that are listening and interested, how easy is it like to get on board with something like this?
So obviously there's like an interview process and everything. We go through the interview. We see if there's like mutual interest. Like if, you know, because I don't want to work with just everybody, you know, like, I mean, I'm willing to give people a shot. But,
no, for sure.
You know,
you want to work with people that are like-minded, obviously.
You know, and so, I mean, that's like the main thing. I mean, just reaching out and, you know, after we have our meeting, we could see from there if it's a good fit for both of us.
Okay. Do you usually have like a sit down with somebody and, you know, in that first sit down, like, yeah, this isn't for you?
Yeah.
Do you flat out tell them that?
I'll usually be like, yeah, so I'll follow up with you.
Wow.
Don't call us, we'll call you.
Yeah.
Enjoy the donuts and the reception. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be like, let's do this. Like, let's you know, reconnect here in a couple months and we'll see where it goes from there.
Couple months. Well, I guess that makes sense when you know, maybe their life situation might change and they'll decide to go in a different way. Do you guys still do the op night thing?
Oh yeah. Every Thursday.
What's that?
That was what I invited you to the other night.
For opportunity night.
Yeah.
Opportunity night. Okay.
Yeah, and we re-invite out like clients, new associates, all of that kind of stuff to come see.
Was it every Thursday?
We do it every Thursday.
Okay. I'll make it this Thursday. You kind of invited me last night.
Oh, I know it was last night.
I was up all night. And I was like, I went home. It wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to embarrass you. I don't want to go there sleepy.
No, you're good. This Thursday, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah, this is Danny. I brought this guy. You know, a side story. I'm a fiber tech. And I moved from Vegas to New Hampshire when I first got into fiber, right? And I drove, right? So along the way, basically, long story short, I got there maybe 3 hours before orientation. Wow. Remember, I drove.
Oh, wow.
So how do you think orientation went?
Not good.
We're sitting at this conference table. It's me and like maybe a dozen other techs. And like every 3 minutes, this is me. While they're explaining everything. And I was like, hey, bro, man, I just left Philly like 6 hours ago. Leave me alone. I'm tired.
Did they tell you they'd follow up with you after that?
No, I was already hired.
Oh.
Okay.
It was my job to lose at that point.
Oh, man.
But they were obviously understanding because I just drove from Vegas all the way to, I was in.
How long?
The meeting was in Vermont. It was like 2 days straight. I was pretty much driving. I only stopped to like get gas and nap and everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a mission, but
You should have got a hotel, slept overnight, or something. Rested up.
I didn't have time. But anyway, that's this is about you, not me. I was on the fence about because normally we as we mentioned in pre-production, we sometimes will talk about like current events and things going on.
Yeah.
Did you want to bring up that?
Oh, I just don't know much about it. I was listening to a podcast like on the way here, and it was talking about this whole situation with like Kate Middleton and like the.
Was that you preparing for to sit down on the podcast? Like how does this podcast thing work?
And so what was funny is I listened to this one. It's a self-development one, right?
Okay.
And I am all caught up, right? So when it's all caught up, it kind of goes to the next podcast.
Yeah.
This one I have not listened to.
Okay.
Probably since I started Primerica. Like, it's been years since I've even listened to it.
Okay.
And it's a reality TV stars podcast. Okay. Anyways, I don't know why I kept listening, because usually I'll change it, but I just kept listening, and she was talking about the whole Kate Middleton thing, and I was like, this is really interesting. Now I'm probably going to go look it up.
And she's you mentioned with the royal family?
With the royal family, yes.
Who is that in the royal family?
She's married to Prince William.
Okay. William's the one that's...
No, so they're next in line. So
William's the one that's next in line, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it would have been who's the other one? Charles? No, not Charles.
Prince Charles is
Charles
now,
is the one in line. He's already in the seat.
Yeah, since Queen Elizabeth died, then he's in.
What's the guy's name with Meghan?
Harry.
Harry. So that's the one. I guess he would be next in line after Will.
I think so, yeah.
But I guess they don't like him because of Meghan, right?
Right.
Something like that.
They're
Okay.
they like separated themselves from the royal family.
Gotcha. Yeah, so for you guys watching and listening, what we were talking about, there was like an article, I seen it on like Twitter, X, or whatever you want to call it today. And they were talking about how Kate Middleton was spotted. They took pictures of her and they lined it up with like a current shot of her, and it wasn't her. And, it's funny, I was watching a movie last night that kind of reminds me of this scenario. It was a movie on Netflix called something about Clone Tyrone.
Oh, they cloned Tyrone.
They cloned Tyrone.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that or heard of that movie. You know what I'm talking about?
I saw it.
Okay. I don't know how, like, I don't want to say like a conspiracy theorist you might be, but what do you think about that? Do you think they're cloning people?
So
Think it's possible?
I don't like even consider it being a conspiracy theorist, because I think they're all conspiracies. Like, I think they're all real. So
Okay.
I don't think they're theories.
Okay.
I think they're
real.
real.
So you
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
They're doing something. They're doing something. Yeah.
Yeah.
To Kate Middleton?
To anybody.
Well, just people in general. I mean, we know they're doing it with chicken.
Yeah.
Cloning chicken?
I mean,
Yeah.
they're manufacturing it. That's for sure. They have to be.
I don't know why they would do it with her, because she's always fallen right in line, done everything she's supposed to do. And, that's like, what she is like, stands for, like, obviously. But anything they've ever told her, she, like I said, she went out and like was taking pictures like a day after she gave birth. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Anything for the royal family. So that's why it's like, is she like okay?
Yeah.
Because the people they like clone or whatever are usually the ones that are like stepping out of line.
Right. They put the replacement out there. Like, this one's got the kinks. Let's just clone them and get rid of the original. Lock them in a dungeon somewhere.
Maybe she's been perfectly in line this whole time, because she's always been a clone.
Maybe.
And that's why she's able to step out after giving birth, having been around a woman who's given birth 5 times. Right afterwards, maybe she never gave birth. Maybe they just got a little clone, popped the clone out, and then, her clone, she never gave birth. So that's why she was out there like...
Yeah.
Could be.
It's possible.
They're so secretive. It's like you'll never know.
I mean, do you think, with what you know about people, do you think that people could handle the truth?
Handle the truth? What?
I think that...
Or if they would, like, if the truth of it came out, would they be able...
Yeah, like if they just came out and say, oh, you know what, we've been cloning for this amount of time and this is real, and if they just came out and just started giving all the truth, do you think we could handle it?
Yeah. I mean, I think we deserve to know, like why do only certain people have the right to know that they're doing that?
Probably because they think we can't handle it. I think we can't handle it. I think if we see some off the wall stuff, we're going to react.
We should.
I don't think anybody deserves, that's a strong word, like anything. And say, why do they deserve to know if they're the one manipulating the situation for themselves? Yeah. That's why. It'd be the same as saying, like, whatever you got going on in your home, everyone just simply deserves to know just because. That's not, so there's no way.
Well, but like I'm saying, like if it's like the government like keeping things from Americans to, like I feel like, I mean, I don't think anything should really be like classified. I feel like, like why does it need to be classified? Why is it a secret? Because it's not right. It shouldn't be like.
Yeah, I guess.
Happening,
But they also wrap it like with the whole thing with the aliens. They wrap it up and say, oh, it's for the good of this. You guys would lose your damn minds if you knew what was really happening out here. And that might be true. But
those people aren't losing their minds,
Yeah. Well, I thought they already came out and said that there are aliens out here.
Yeah. And then it just got buried.
Yeah, I was
You had to keep following.
I was gonna say a lot of people came out and they spilled the beans and.
Yeah, there's some dude who put out some papers talking about like what their religion was and what their purpose for being here was and all of that stuff. That's crazy.
I think for me, seeing is believing at this point for me. I would have to see something for me to like believe it. Like if you just told me this, and this happened, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know.
But if it came on like, government sponsored news or something and was like, okay, this is what's up, and you still be like, all right, let me see.
So, I mean, we see how they backtracked with the vaccine, right? So, I mean,
everything could be a conspiracy.
And it's always like whatever best benefits them, whatever narrative.
That part. It's whatever narrative benefits them. It's always that.
Because since it changes, it's in that moment. How is this narrative going to? How can we manipulate it so that we can, fly under the radar with something else or push this or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, people do that in their everyday lives with much smaller things. So, of course, they would do it in something bigger. Like, people manipulate, the person they love because they don't want them to leave. So, like, oh, I see you're losing weight. Well, let me make you a bigger plate than usual. It's like, hey, let me put some MSG in this mug for you. Oh, what do you want to snack? Let me buy you soda. Don't you love Coke? Never buy the sugar-free stuff. Keep giving you everything you want to keep you fatter. That's you manipulating to get somebody to be what you want them to be. People do that in real life. That's just one example. But people do that sort of stuff in real life. So, of course, when we're talking about millions of dollars in power, people are going to do it. I'm just not surprised, I guess, because I see how humans act in general.
Yeah.
I'm just not surprised by it. I think that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then to touch on the food example you gave, it's like if you want to eat healthy, it costs a lot of money. Then if you just want to eat crap, it's like, well, with inflation, I won't even say it's cheap, but it's cheaper is what I'll say.
Yeah.
See, that's not even true. Because if you just don't
then eating
so
good,
much,
yeah.
If you just don't eat so much,
yeah,
and then eat healthy when you're not eating so much, but it's just that struggle. Like if you're used to taking in 4,000 calories, now you're trying to drop down to 2. Your body's used to taking so much. It's a mental challenge to stop yourself from taking in that extra 2 calories.
Yeah, well, isn't it
2,000,
1,500, 2,000 a day or something? It's supposed to be the intake.
Depends on your height and weight and all that stuff. Could be anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 to even 3,000 calories with your muscle mass. But if you are used to taking in, you probably don't even know how many calories you're taking in. If you actually counted, it'd probably be close to 4,000. So your body is close. Your body is used to taking that. So that hunger feeling you get could be a combination of you're bored, so you eat. You're thirsty, so you eat. Or you're just not getting as many calories as you used to, so you eat. If you can mentally control yourself to only take in that amount of calories, you'd be spending less money because you ain't eating all the time. And then it actually does cost less to be healthier, but you are not mentally strong enough to do that.
If you go to like a McDonald's or something and buy a salad, it's going to be a lot more than like a Big Mac. You might, or you can go to like the healthiest thing I think at Taco Bell is their power bowls, like in their
where it's just like protein mostly. Yeah,
it's like chicken, rice, beans, all of that, and it's like $6 or $7, right? Whereas you can get a burrito for $2. However, if you go to the grocery store and you
that's where it is.
Buy all the foods that you cook, you meal prep, all of that kind of stuff, and you eat it throughout the week, you probably save more money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I actually just started meal prepping these past couple of weeks.
Yeah,
it's rough.
Yeah,
it's rough.
especially calories.
Especially when you leave the house and you forget your food.
Oh God, yeah. Then you're like, oh my gosh.
Somebody made a good analogy to me once about like meal prep. That was like, if you decide you want to eat healthy, and you don't prepare, it'd be the same thing like going to war. If you're going to go to war and you say, you know what, I'm gonna pick up my weapons and stuff while I'm there. Are you going to get the best weapons available?
Nope.
Be the most successful because you're just picking up what comes along? No. But if you come pre-prepared with your own weaponry, you can have the best stuff. It's the same kind of thing. If you're out there and decide, I'm going to eat healthy from now on, but you don't prep at all.
Yeah.
It's 2:00 in the afternoon because you've been busy and you haven't eaten. What you going to do? You're going to grab a burger.
I'm going to hit that Taco Bell, unfortunately.
Try to make the best of it.
Yeah. But if you have pre-packed your meals and stuff or whatever, you can eat that stuff and prepare to be better. Now, me personally, I did all that right before COVID, and then I was like, COVID, I put like 50 pounds back on, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm a lot happier like this.
Well, I mean, in COVID, we all gained weight. Did you gain any weight during COVID?
Yeah.
With like 5 pounds.
I don't know how much I gained during COVID. I do know that It was a little bit, but it was good because I was pretty skinny before that.
Okay.
But then when I turned 30, in a matter of 6 months, I gained like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, once you hit the 30s, it starts to stick.
It's crazy.
It's like when we was in our 20s, we ate whatever, and it just fell right off.
I never had a problem.
My wife, like, I guess she got some weight now, but it's about 40 when her food actually started to stick to her.
Really? 40,
and at that point, that's years after having her last child.
Yeah.
So she's just one of those people that just, genetically blessed.
Right.
So that's why a lot of times when I see people work out and they learn, even not working out, and they look good, it'd be like, a good deal of that is just genetics. So I've seen some people who work out like crazy and can outrun you, outlift you, everything. They just don't look like it because what you've been trained to think a person like that will look like, they don't look like.
Mm-hmm.
That's true too.
Everybody has different body types.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting a little program next month. Got to work on this stomach of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be looking like a Homer in a Simpsons. Like all I do is come home and drink Duff beer.
Yeah. I understand.
You a hip hop fan at all?
Yeah.
Have you been keeping up with what's going on right now with that the beef, I should say?
Wait, with who?
Shots fired.
Well, let me ask you this before I let the cat out the bag. Who's your top 3 favorite rappers right now?
Right. Okay. I don't even know anybody that's like rapping like right now. You know what I'm saying? Like any new people.
Oh, it don't have to be new. I mean, just last 10, 15 years.
Okay. So, I mean, Eminem is of course my number one. Lil Wayne. Third one.
Drake.
No.
Hey, she said, no. J. Cole.
Ludacris.
Kendrick. Oh, Ludacris. Wow. I was not expecting that drop.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, that's quite a top 3. Eminem, Lil Wayne, and Ludacris.
Okay.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, Eminem and Lil Wayne are like my favorites, like of all time.
Okay.
I can listen to their stuff all the time. Everybody else, I mean, even from like the 90s, 2000s, like I like them.
Okay.
Like, they can be in my playlist.
Watch out now, you're gonna reveal your current age. You're going too far down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Some of these kids today, you say the 90s, and it's like, what? You like music from the late 1900s? No.
Oh, I know. Oh my God. I hate
the late 1900s. That's terrible.
Yeah, me and my daughter, we got in an argument one day about this, and because I was like, I was trying to put in my Jeepus like a direction somewhere, but I couldn't do it fast enough. Hold on.
Did you say Jeepus just now?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And that's what I call it. Anyways, I couldn't do it fast enough, so I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to go this way. I hope it's the right way. And she's like, well, why don't you just use your compass? Because I knew I needed to go east or something like that. Anyways, and I was like, I don't know how to use a compass. Like, what do you think? I'm from like the 1900s? And she was like, yes. I was like, that is so disrespectful. No, I'm not. I'm from the 1990s. And she's like, that's a part of the 1900s.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's not. The 1900s, give the 1900s, the 1910s, 1920s. I'm from the 1990s. And she was like, that as a whole is the 1900s. That's what one of the young boys told to me. I was like playing some music at a karaoke one time, and he was like, "You really just gonna play this music from the late 1900s?" And I sat there and thought about it for a second and fell out laughing.
Yeah, because it's true.
Because when you think about it, it's like, wow, that really is technically the late 1900s.
Yeah, we deep enough into the 20 to 2000s or whatever. Like now, you don't. When you say 1800s, you don't think 1810 or 18 or whatever. It's all of it, and that's where we're at now with 19.
I know, it's crazy.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. It is.
But I brought up the rap topic because, well, a lot of people say
can I change my third one to Nicki Minaj?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Sorry, Ludacris, you out of there.
Yeah, move, bitch. No.
That's a good one.
So the quote unquote big 3 that they're coining it nowadays is Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. Are you shaking your head? Are you not familiar with any of them?
No, I know who all of them are. I don't. They're saying those are the best 3.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who?
So
who is saying this?
Everybody.
Everybody for the most part is saying like.
Really?
Yeah. Oh At least one of those is in like everybody's top 3 currently active rappers right now. So the big beef that's going on right now, J. Cole and Drake recently collaborated on a song called First Person Shooter. And on that song, you know, they boast about that they're the GOATs, they're the best, et cetera, et cetera. And basically, they took a few shots at Kendrick and a few other people, but Kendrick just recently responded on a Future album that just came out this past Friday. Mm-hmm. And the hip-hop internet world is going like crazy about it.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about that. But if I had to, I would say Kendrick over both of them.
Now, my next question would be, are you qualified?
Yeah.
Since you didn't even know who those people were.
I do know who they are. I haven't listened to much J. Cole, Drake.
You can't help it.
You had like a scoff about Drake.
Because I still think about Degrassi, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Degrassi.
Yeah.
I actually never watched that show, so he was completely new.
So you can't look at him and not separate him from Wheelchair Jimmy?
You can't. Like, so...
See, I never watched Degrassi, so I didn't look at Degrassi until he was already like popular. Mm-hmm. And then when I went back and looked at it, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, so I can imagine if you were watching Degrassi, because you were probably pretty young when that came out.
Young,
so you were like,
I'd only get to watch it when I went to my aunt's house.
Okay.
She had the good cable.
Yeah, because I know my little sister, I know she was watching it too. Mm-hmm. And but needless to say, I didn't know anything about Degrassi. And it wasn't until Drake was already established, I think, working on his second album, whereas Degrassi came up in my algorithm and somebody was telling me about it, and I looked, and I was just looking at him like barefaced and all, like small, and you know, he got that Canadian voice too, so it's just kind of like, hey guys, you know, like he talked like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those three are universally considered to be the top three. Mainly because of lyricism, right? I mean, Drake, as far as sales, is like the highest sales of all of them. But like as far as lyricism go, they feel like these three are the big three, as they call them. And Kendrick is like, fuck the big three. There's like literally a line from this shit. Fuck the big three. It's just big me. So everyone's like, oh shit, Kendrick shooting fires. Yeah, it's a huge one. Right
now. I'm not gonna walk you down your hill. I'm on the same page as you. I think Kendrick's the best out of the three of them.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard J. Cole's music.
You probably have. I mean, he's had a couple of radio hits. I'm sure you heard. Just like the same thing with Drake. If you listen to popular music in the background, what Andre 3000 was it Andre 3000?
With what?
No, it was a dude from Black Star that was like, Drake makes as good music to play in the background.
Oh, you're talking about Mos Def?
Yeah, Mos Def said Drake was good music to play in the background when he's shopping at Target.
Oh my God.
Aggressive shopping. Like you're looking around like, oh, so many SKUs, so many products.
Yeah, like you can't help but hear because stuff just kind of pops up in popular radio. Kendrick, not quite as much in the last few years. Mm-hmm. So I'm just happy to hear this beef because hip hop has become very, very friendly, and I understand why, right? We had a time where there's a lot of violence, people shooting at each other. Hell, it's kind of currently going on with the little younger street cats. Yeah. So these guys are all trying to click up to get money, but it's just a little refreshing to hear them kind of have beef with each other now. Not like serious, like I'm trying to kill you, but more like you're not the best, I'm the best, and let me tell you why kind of beef.
I mean, hip hop is a competition at the end of the day. You know, it was started on MCing, so we like to see battles. We like to see people, you know, separate themselves from others. You know, everybody's been all clicked up like Justice League Super Friends lately, and you know,
for sure.
I want somebody to jump out there and be like, I'm him.
Even when they are beefing, they keep it on the low. You just don't see them anymore. They're not on each other's albums.
Yeah. But I definitely keep it on wax. I definitely want it to only be music. We don't want Biggie and Pac all over again. You know.
Yeah, I was there for that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Not giving away my age or anything. They tell you how long I've been married, how many kids I got, so you can get a good guess at that.
I was going to say, you said you was there for Biggie and Pac, so I mean, that says it all right there. They're from the late 1900s.
Yeah, I was out of high school, let's put it like that. When that happened.
Dang. What class are you, if you don't mind?
2011.
Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Okay, so you like, what, 31?
31.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't you like class of 2001?
I'm 10. That's why I was did the math. I'm about to be 41, but you know, black don't crack, so you know. always do that.
What?
I had something I was about to say and I forgot about it. That's when the 40s kick in. We start forgetting stuff.
Oh yeah, I've been going through it.
Yeah.
I be forgetting my kids' names. In my mind, I'm just thinking child. So I go through all the names till I get the right one.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you want to tell a story?
About what?
How we met?
Oh, on the plane at Vegas? Okay, yeah. So it was pretty funny. This is my rendition of it. So me and my friend Claudia, right? We were out there for a Primerica. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's up, Claudia? We were out there for a Primerica event. It's called WHIP, Women in Primerica. And so we waited a long time to book our flights. We waited until like the day before. So they were very expensive, but we had to do some, when we flew in, so we got there at midnight, right? So we're just going to thug it out. We ended up getting a hotel. We didn't plan on getting a hotel, but we did. We're like, we're not sleeping at this airport. But we were still really tired, right? And then it was a long weekend. I have never traveled by myself. Okay, I've never really, I went from living with my parents to my husband. He's always taking care of everything, right? I've never booked anything. He's really good at that kind of stuff. Well, I did all of this. And I always heard you can check in up to an hour or 24 hours before, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were supposed to. I just thought it was like, hey, you can if you want to,
You'll get bad seats if you don't.
What
did you fly?
Frontier.
Oh, yeah.
Or you get no seats. So we get there for our flight at 6 a.m. I checked in at 5 a.m. because you have to check in an hour before at least. And they tell us that we can't get on the plane. Okay, so I'm going back and forth. I'm arguing with this lady. Anyways, we're already pissed. And luckily we did not check out of our room. We were able to go back, extend our checkout, sleep a little bit, hung out all day. Anyways, so when we finally get a flight, it gets delayed and delayed and delayed, right? We're just in a bad mood. It's been we're exhausted. Anyway, so we sit down in our row and then he walks up and he's like, "You're in my seat." And we're like, "No, we're not." And we're literally showing him we're whatever. I don't remember the letters, but he's like, "Yeah, and look right here. That's those two, not this one."
It's DEF.
Yeah, exactly.
D on the outside. That's my seat.
So we're like, oh, okay. And so we scooch over, and then we got some snacks and stuff, and so eventually we started talking and became friends.
Yeah, it started rocky though. That's for sure.
It did. Yeah, we were not very nice, but
yeah.
After we got some food in us, we were a little bit happier.
Right. I was about to say, you said you ate some, got some snacks. I was like, oh, that'll do it. That'll
I think we was all hangry, and that flight that you were on was delayed, right? So, so I was delayed too then.
Oh yeah, it was it kept delaying. It was so crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible.
Yeah, I don't mind when I'm flying out of Vegas though when I get delayed because I'm I used to live there for 10 years, so I can always find something to do in Vegas.
Everything's expensive though.
Everything's expensive everywhere.
I know, but you want to get a burger or something, it's $20.
Oh, in the airport, yeah. Captive audience, they got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just ready to get home.
Yeah.
We were expecting to be home by 8 o'clock that morning.
I know, we all ended up getting home 1 in the morning, something like that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. After I dropped Claudia off and everything, all of our rides fell asleep. I order an Uber. It says it's going to be $30. And then it changed it to $70, but then it said nobody could pick me up.
Damn.
I was like, okay. And so I had to call and wake up my husband and to come pick us up. And luckily the kids are kind of older, so we live literally 15 minutes from the airport. So
that worked out good.
Yeah, so he came and got us, and then I drove and dropped Claudia off, and I didn't get home till 4 a.m. After all of that.
So y'all were there for a minute.
Yeah, trying to find. Yeah, we were trying to.
Wow, I got lucky then because I had no problem getting an Uber.
Yeah, it canceled me. Yeah, it was crazy.
Maybe because it's where you're going, the Uber driver just happened to be living down here. So, now you lived up.
I lived in Carrollton at the time, so they probably was mine was probably a better paying fare because I think it was $45-$50 for me to get home.
Oh yeah.
So they probably looked at yours like, 20, 30 bucks. I ain't taking that. I'll wait for the big fish to
The
pull
good
up.
ones, yeah.
Then Big Me walked up. No,
Yeah, you took my Uber. That was what happened.
that's probably what happened.
You took my
They're like,
Uber.
which one you want? You want this one with the two pretty ladies, or you want the thug one right here that's gonna give you $50? They said, get the thug one.
Yeah.
Them ladies be alright.
Yeah, they can walk.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys made it.
Yeah.
That's we got you here today.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have anything that you want to add that might be coming up? Any kind of big events, or even if it's just weekly, whatever you want to talk about? This is the time for you to get your shine in.
I mean, obviously we have our op nights every Thursday night where we have speakers come out, RVPs, people making over 100, 200. Even my leader, she's about to go over $1 million a year in income. So they speak, in our business, how, like what they did to build their business and everything. Those are Thursday nights at 7. But yeah, that's the main things.
Are these like an open invite?
Oh, yeah,
like anybody?
Yeah.
Okay, so
But make sure you say you're there for Molly.
okay, I was gonna say so it's every Thursday at 7. Where?
Fort Worth, Lake Worth area. Text me. I'll give you the address.
Okay, and right here on the screen, that's her information. So you want to reach out to Molly. You can't see it right now,
Okay,
but I'll add it in post production. She's looking at the table
Yeah, like,
there's
what's
nothing
it?
here. Okay. Once again, Molly, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad that that's but just same thing. Thanks for coming. It was a great conversation.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed it.
And like I always tell you guys, like, share, subscribe, and comment. This is Verbal Gunplay, and we out.
Yeah.